Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome back if you are returning. Sorry about that. Just had a tickle in my throat. Just didn't want to cough in your ear. My name is Janelle Villiers, and I am your host of the Janelle Villiers podcast. I'm happy to be here. And if this is your first time here, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. I love to welcome all of my newcomers. If this is not your first time, if you are returning, go ahead and put a 2 in the comments. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And so I'm really excited because every week we come together and I give tips and insight on how to write your book, how to edit and publish your book, how to make money from your book, and essentially how to make sure that your book becomes a part of a strategy in order to help you grow and build your business. Because guess what? That is what I have been doing for a while. I've been helping people create ecosystems around the authority that their book brings to other people. So I'm excited to be with you guys today. We've got another really good topic. And so let's get to it. You know, I've got all my notes because I don't want you to miss a thing. I'm really excited. Today's topic is the real reason your personal brand isn't working. And this is important because typically your book also comes up in your personal brand, right? That's a part of the ecosystem that you're building. And so I really wanted to get into a little bit about brands and what you should know and how you can actually change that so that it works, the branding and the brand that you're building starts to work in your favor. So as we begin, one of the things that I really want to say is that, okay, well, first of all, what I'm about to say may come across and feel uncomfortable at first. And that's most personal branding advice was not built for executives, consultants, or serious entrepreneurs. It's built for people competing for attention. That's what it's built for. That's the truth. And attention is not the same thing as authority. You can post consistently. You can grow your visibility. You can even build a following, and you still walk into rooms where you have to explain your value from the very beginning, right? It's like, why was I even posting? Why was I even doing those things? And I think if that's what you're finding, that's a signal that something deeper is missing. And what many leaders call a branding problem is actually an authority architecture problem. You're not building a system. And so what I'm going to be talking about today is showing you the difference, because once you see, the way that you think about positioning, publishing, and even your book is going to change. I want you to become one of those entrepreneurs, one of those authority people out there that is thinking about this not as something like, oh, I want to build visibility, but I want you to start thinking about your authority infrastructure. Okay, so let's dive in. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs invest in personal branding and they still struggle to build the authority that they're looking to build, right? So personal branding has become this default advice for a lot of professionals because they're wanting to do a couple of things. They want to grow their influence. They basically see it everywhere. So they post more content, they share their story, they show their personality, and they build visibility, right? You're doing all these things. And I want to admit, for some people, this works really well. But a lot of times it's just for a period of time. And I've seen a lot of other entrepreneurs and consultants and founders eventually feel something is missing. So some of the signs that you could see is that you're visible, but you still have to explain your value in every conversation. You are respected, but not consistently sought out. And opportunities come randomly rather than predictably. And your authority feels tied to your presence rather than to your ideas. And that tension makes sense because personal branding was designed for, remember, attention. And I want you guys to think differently. I want you to understand that you need an authority architecture. Okay, are you guys with me? Are you with me? Hi. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so if you're with me, say here, so I know that we're all on the same page. So I want to talk about why this doesn't work. The reason why you're doing this is Okay. This is what it is. The reason why this doesn't work is because I think most entrepreneurs focus on the visibility and the personality. We just talked about that. And that can actually cause a couple of problems. Your authority now becomes dependent on your personality. And when you're present, your authority exists. But when you're absent, your authority fades. So that's the first problem. The second is that your thinking isn't documented. Your ideas live in these conversations, and your frameworks live in your head, right? So how you think and how you go about doing things is all in your head. And then the other problem is that when you're trying to scale, then that becomes difficult because every new client must be educated from the very beginning. Every sales conversation starts essentially from scratch. And this is where some of the friction starts to begin. And so any of your high-level buyers, they don't want to be persuaded repeatedly, right? They want clarity and certainty from the very beginning. And visibility alone doesn't provide that. What really provides that is structured thinking. So I want you to elevate your strategy. I want you to understand that authority has to be built. It has to be structured. So serious entrepreneurs build authority infrastructure. And that includes several elements. First is a documented framework. You're documenting your methods, your philosophy, your model of whatever the problem is. The second thing is it's your IP, right? This includes books that you write. Hey, the models that you create, frameworks, right? A lot of times people have acronyms for different frameworks or the steps people need to take in order to get to the transformation that you're looking to have them get to. And also just very structured ideas. Third is it has consistent framing. So how you define the problem, how you describe the solution, how you guide decisions. And when all of these elements exist, your authority travels without you. Your ideas carry weight across rooms, across different social media platforms, so it sticks, right? People understand your thinking before you even arrive because it's out there now. You've put it out there and people understand that. And so this is how your authority becomes structured. And it doesn't become this personality thing that I think a lot of us think that branding is. So what you need to do, again, in order to create this is that you're going to need to think about how institutions decide who they trust. And they rarely trust someone based only on personality. What they're looking for is documented thinking, proven frameworks, repeatable systems. And this is why researchers publish papers. It's why leaders write books. It's why firms will develop models. All of these create confidence when someone encounters your ideas because they're all in written form. The people can study them, they can evaluate them, they can share them internally, whether it's within themselves or even within their organization. And that creates deeper trust. And trust, guess what? It shortens the decision cycle. Okay, so this is where books become powerful. You guys know I love books, so you know I'm going to stay in that zone. A well-designed book does several things all at once. It's going to clarify your thinking. It's going to document your frameworks. It's going to stabilize your authority because the books become a reference point. They become a strategic asset. They become a client filtration system where your clients are being filtered in, sometimes filtered out, but filtered in. And so when you think about what happens when a potential client reads your book, it's that they understand how you think, they understand the problem more clearly, and they arrive at the conversation prepared. Your book carries your authority ahead of you. It becomes part of your, you guessed it, it becomes a part of your authority structure, the strategy that you're building around your authority. Okay, so if this is really helpful for you, if you're out there and you're trying to build authority around what you've got, right? If you want people to understand your ideas and understand your values and how you think before you walk into the room, before you even get on a call with a potential client, a book is a great way to make that happen, obviously. There are other ways as well, but honestly, a book is able to do all of the things that you're looking to do all at the same time. So if you found this valuable, please let me know in the comments. You guys know I go pretty fast. I've got all these notes. If you found this valuable, go ahead and put a V in the comments so I know that you found this valuable. If you've been thinking about how to build the structure, please let me know. Put structure if this is something, or strategy if this is something that you've been trying to think about. Maybe you need some help with this. I'd love to be the person that helps you with that. But I'll leave you with this. If you are building a serious consulting or coaching business, if you're building some sort of executive platform, if you're an entrepreneur, period, visibility alone is not going to sustain you. At some point, you must move deeper. Your thinking must become structured. Your frameworks must become visible. Your IP, your intellectual property, must become the infrastructure. Because this is how your authority is going to grow in a more stable way over time. And that's huge. I can already feel the relief falling off of your shoulders, right? You're like, ah, yes, this is what I want. So if you're ready to design your authority structure, if you're ready to strategize intentionally, that is the work that I do. I do this for consultants, for coaches, for institutional leaders, for thought leaders, and entrepreneurs. I love doing this with this is my people. You guys are my people. And what we do is we explore what's available to you. And I'd love to have you guys talk to me. I'm going to put my link in the description right before we get off, where you guys can get on with me for 30 minutes. We'll talk about what's going on and how we can better design that for you. And honestly, guys, at the end of the day, I really just want to help. I want to start changing your thinking. I want you to really start thinking about this differently, because a lot of people think like, oh, I'll just go on social media more. I'll just post more. Oh, I'll just write this book. And like you put the book out there, but you don't have any intention or any structure around any of that. And it just falls flat. And then you get frustrated and you're like, this isn't working. You know, they said to do that. They said to just post more. They said to just write a book. And then all of a sudden, magically, everything would, work out after that. And the truth is, you actually have to plan. You have to plan. You have to strategize. And so if nothing else, I hope that you guys start to wrap your mind around that and how important that is, how necessary that is in order for you to create the authority that you've been dreaming of, the authority that you know that you can command. So that way it goes into it goes into rooms before you're even there. People are talking about you without you even being in the room. They're talking about how you think, what your values are, because they're helpful. And they're true. And you know this to be true based on your experience, based on the people that you've already worked with. You already know this. So it's about really creating a strategy around that in order to make it happen. Okay, if this conversation helps clarify something for you, continue with the next episode. I'm continuing in this series to continue to build on this idea of authority building, of strategizing. We are building this thinking step by step. So make sure you stay tuned and follow along. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for you today. Make sure you put value in the comments if you found this very valuable. If you're ready to get that structure, if you want to have a call, like I said, I'm really interested in talking with my people to see how I can help you think and strategize around this, how we can structure a book to help you build that authority. I just put my link in good. Awesome. I see Kim Peak said it was valuable. Maisha said it's valuable. Awesome. Sorry, Mary Smith said, okay, awesome, got it. Kim said it was valuable. Again, there's the link. It's in the comment section. If you want to talk, let's chat, right? Let's see what we can do together. All right. I will see you next week. I hope everybody enjoys the week ahead of them. And until then, I'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.